A stalker convicted of hiding in an OnlyFans model's attic and snapping nude photos. And this basically kind of goes to show you like the big issue when it comes to the whole OF thing. Like OF for a few ladies and guys out there is a very good moneymaker. Like we're talking like recurring revenue, like basically money coming in every single month, potentially in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a month, right? And there's quite a lot of people actually making a full-time living with OF. But the problem with creating a product like that, where you basically show everything in a very vulnerable way to a potentially massive audience that literally sees like every part of you, and they believe that they're basically in a relationship with you, which by the way, this is a very big issue when it comes to like female influencers. So, for example, take like Twitch streamers who are female, they end up facing this really weird situation where they suffer from having a lot of stalkers. A lot of stalkers that truly believe that they are in a relationship with them. And not too long ago, like the other day, I basically commentated on an article about a romance scam where this influencer actually did a romance scam. The problem with this is that this is basically a situation where you have someone who's like a model, but the fan thinks that they're basically more, potentially. So let's check this out. So, a Pennsylvania man was found guilty of several charges after he broke into an OF model's home and hid in her attic, telling jurors the woman wanted to be stalked. Like what? Mauricio Gruero, 19. Dude, you're 19? You just basically tossed away your whole life. Was convicted of 2 of 4 counts of burglary, along with criminal trespass and invasion of privacy, WMUR reported. He became obsessed with the social media starlet he met online and began tracking her every move. This is like serial killer type of level stuff, and reportedly made copies of her keys to gain access to her Summerworth, New Hampshire home. The creep hid in the 24-year-old woman's attic at least 4 times and waited for her to fall asleep so he could go downstairs and terrifyingly film her, including her private areas. Investigators discovered several disturbing clips on his cell phone that he had taken of the woman, who has been identified only as NR, and court documents as she slept naked. Guerrero told the jury Monday that he thought he and the victim were. Like, I didn't even check this article out before. It's exactly what I was thinking it was going to be. This dude thought that he was in a romantic relationship with this OF model. This is one of the biggest problems with doing a business model like that. Like, this is such a huge risk. Alright? Because you basically create a parasocial relationship with your fans to the point where they truly believe that they are in a relationship with you. Like, this is scary and very sad, right? Like, no one should be dealing with a situation like this, but the problem is you get yourself in a situation where you just put yourself in such a vulnerable position. Guerrero told the jury Monday that he thought he and the victim were in a romantic relationship and that she wanted to be stalked, according to the news outlet. Like, oh, this is bad. This is so sad. At first, he and the woman communicated on the adult website, but she later kept in touch with him via text messages and video calls on her cell phone. Oh no. So basically, what I am pretty much going to expect is that some people may not know this, but I was listening to think like a podcast or something where they basically broke down the different ways some OF models actually make money. So OF models don't just make money from recurring revenue in terms of like the monthly subscription. Like everyone basically knows about like, oh, like the whole Netflix type of style business, where it's like a membership website. The thing is, a lot of these influencers, a lot of these OF models will actually charge like a premium for like specialized services, right? Like, oh, you want a special video? This costs, I don't know how much, right? Probably depends on the person. But also, I think some OF models actually hire like outside help or basically outsource like people to like text some of their fans as if they were basically in a relationship to basically milk out as much money as possible, right? So, for example, put into this perspective. Say that you are someone like him where you think that, well, like basically you're like a fan of an influencer. And then you start having this option where, like, oh, maybe you could pay like I don't know, $1 a message, $5 a message, $10 a message, or maybe instead of paying like 10 or 20 bucks a month, if you were to spend like 50 or 100 bucks per month, then you'd have like personalized text messages, right? You'd end up having the influencer's phone number, even though it's probably not even there, like the influencer. So it's just a way for the influencer, the OF model, to make way more money. But the problem with that, you end up having someone who's just a fan or who thinks that you look good and wants to like smack their chicken to now basically being like, oh my god, maybe I got a chance with this OF model. Maybe you got a chance with this girl or guy, whatever you're into, that's like way out of my league type of thing. And they think that they're now basically in a relationship with them, and like this gets into like such a gray zone because you got someone who is just like a fan or an admirer to now someone who's like, oh no, I have a romantic connection with you where we have basically linking finances because they're probably paying them constant money, but then also it's like, oh, now my like feelings are intertwined with this. Now mentally I'm like having this like vision where like maybe we'll have a future together. Like this is bad. Like this is really bad. Like if you are like an OF model, try not to do this sort of stuff where you end up offering this type of service because there's some crazy people out there. Let's see. So girl also made unannounced visits to her home, including in February 2022 when he stayed inside her attic for almost 2 days before telling her he was in town. During the trial, he read text messages in which she allegedly told him she loved him and wanted him to obsessively stalk her. Hero testified that she liked it, the Independent reported. We talked about meeting up, about me coming up. Between that, we talked about having intercourse, he said, according to the outlet. But the woman told the court that she was often drunk when they chatted online, but admitted that they did have sex on one occasion, the Independent reported. Wait. So, okay, so basically, this is even like worse than what I thought because basically, she was probably pretty much like an escort or something, and basically, probably just literally sold herself to the guy. And oh god, this is so much worse than I was thinking. This got so bad. Oh lord. She told investigators that he seemed nice at first, and she gave him her address because he wanted to buy her a TV and fireplace for her apartment in Dover, a police affidavit reportedly states. She never really wanted to meet him, but he was very pushy, he says. So basically, this pretty much probably turned into more like a sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship that went creepy. Prosecutors noted that the victim refused to see him several times. Defense attorney Harry Sarber said his client was disappointed with the verdict, describing him as a young man with no prior criminal record who is now a convicted felon. He is, as he appeared on the witness stand, he is young, naive, and was hoping someone could help him, Starbranch said. Deputy Stratford County Attorney Emily Gard said he was very impressed with the victim who lived with her mother. This was not an easy case for her to have to go through, or her mother, who is also a victim, so we are very proud of her and happy with the verdict, she said, WMUR reported. And Gard would be required to wear a GPS tracking device until sentencing in July. Yeah, that's interesting. Feel free to give your comments on this. Like this, I was not really expecting the ending where it basically seemed like she probably sold herself to the guy in a sense. It's kind of like reading between the lines, and then was like, that was like a one-time thing, not into the stuff anymore. Like leave me alone kind of stuff. Oh man, like again, the whole OF thing. Yeah, you could potentially make really good money, but you really got to think about, does the potential finances, like financial benefits, make sense for the potential extreme negatives, right? Because this isn't even the extreme negative. Like, the extreme negative is something that is basically the finality kind of stuff, right? Or what? Mortal Kombat, like fatality, basically. Like it could end really, really bad. Like this could have ended really, really bad on literally multiple occasions because he was literally inside her house without her knowing multiple times. Like this could have ended so badly. So just think about it. Like money isn't the end all be all for everything. Man, this is bad.